She said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
Thank you for staying with us. It's still Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. With me on the show this morning is Dumezo Samson, a political analyst. Good morning, Mr. Dumezo.
Good morning, Nigerians and Africans.
And I also have Honorable Churchill Wale. Honorable Churchill is a politician and a political analyst. Good morning, Honorable Churchill.
You're welcome.
Right. Now to the story. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has slammed some leaders of the Rivers State chapter of the People's Democratic Party for declaring support for the current governor, Similaye Fubara. Wike made the statement during a chat with newsmen on Tuesday in Abuja. Correspondent recalls that PDP leaders in Rivers State, Abia Sekibo, ex-PDP National Chairman, Uche Secondus, ex-governorship aspirant Celestino Mejia, and ex-lawmaker Austin Opara had last week declared support for Fubara and called on the president to caution Wike. However, reacting on Tuesday, Wike said Sekibo, Secondus, Omehia and Okpara are all expired politicians who are not worthy to be called elder statesmen. The FCT minister said they were all irrelevant as he kicked them out of the party. Wike insisted that Secondus was no longer a member of the PDP as his suspension was validated by the courts. Mr. Samson, what do you make of these developments in Rivers State crisis?
First, it appears we're still in the political season, and it exposes the hypocrisy of our politicians. Okay. You know, the moment we finish election, everybody says it's time for governance, no more politics, let us focus on governance, time for governance. And it's expected that when it's time for governance, everybody dantos, drops their political enmity and embraces each other and begin to focus on how that development will be prioritized to the benefit of the people other than the usual political noise that precedes every government coming into power. But apparently, our politicians just offer lip services. They don't live what they preach. I have heard the minister himself say, look, this is no longer time for politics, it is time for governance. I have heard his boss, Mr. President, also emphasize that this is not time for politics, it is time for governance. I have heard the governor of Rivers State say this is not time for politics, it is time for governance. So what do you expect when it's time for governance? It's to recognize that we are done with elections, there is a government in power, and the government has a responsibility to fulfill its mandates. As for an opposition, it is expected that this government, their promises to the people will be tested. Their efficiency and capacity will be tested. And so the opposition sits by to watch what the government is doing and allow the people to be the judge. And when the government takes a wrong step, the opposition comes to say, look, this step is wrong, they could have done it this better way. You know, that's the function of an opposition. But what are we seeing today? It appears that Rivers State is still enmeshed in a political season. It appears we're having an all-time politics. Even when it's time for governance, we're still talking politics, as though there's a campaign and there's an election that is holding the next day. Everybody trying to undo each other, everybody trying to bring down the order just to be relevant. That's what's happening in the politics of Rivers State. And it's becoming very embarrassing because we've been on this trajectory for almost a decade. You know, you remember that in 2014 into 15, when Nyesom Wike wanted to be the governor of Rivers State, we had a political crisis in this state. And that political crisis was sustained till he finished his government. Amechi was trying to undo him. He was trying to undo Amechi at the federal level until the expiration of that government. And now we now have Sim as the governor of Rivers State. We're still seeing the same pattern, the same thing that, you know, has kept us in these draconian states, you know, for this long. Look at the statement issued by they call themselves the former presidential campaign council of Atiku Abubakar. I think in the spirit of, you know, governance, recognizing that politics is over, they, in their statement, embraced Mr. President and also embraced the governor and said, look, we're supporting the president and we're supporting the governor, all to the interest of Rivers State, that the federal government and the state needs to work together to bring every promise they have made to fruition. And then they went further to say, Mr. President, you must have to be careful with our brother, the Minister of FCT.
Was that necessary?
Oh, well, I think that in their opinion, they believe that the FCT minister is trying to choke the governor of Rivers State from performing. And in you know, displaying themselves as elder statesmen, they felt it was their responsibility to call Mr. President to say, look, your appointee is causing chaos in the state, and we need you to caution him. I mean, I don't see what is so bad in doing that. You know, it's expected everywhere. People have the right to offer counsel. It is left for whom they are offering the counsel to take it. And it's left for whom they are complaining about to take it or not take it. And the minister also has a right of reply. And he responded. But he went beyond the bar, you know, and started, you know, giving political history of all of these persons and painting them to be expired politicians, you know, as has been read. You know, but at the end of the day, what's the body language of these two sides? It appears that we are still in a political season. and not in governance. That's the problem here. And should we continue on this trajectory, it means that River State will suffer for it now, at the end of the day.
Mr. Dumezo, if I may recall, if you recall, when the elder statesmen came out to pledge their allegiance, you know, probably if they had pledged their allegiance to Tinubu-led federal government and then to Sim Fubara, the governor of River State, and ended it at that, probably there would be a clapback from the FCT minister. How do you poke a sleeping lion and expect the lion to eye you and smile? Telling the president to be wary of yes or Wike, was that, like I asked you, was that necessary? They could have just pledged their allegiance and moved on.
They have a right to their opinion, and they have identified what the problem is. First of all, yes, the minister said, look, he tried to paint a picture that these people didn't support the president. And when he was trying to support the president, they were against it. Now, when he brought this governor, some of them said, we can't serve master and serve boy. So they were against Fubara himself. Well. So the minister holds this strong opinion that they are being hypocritical. That how are you supporting the president now and now supporting the governor whom you said you would not support? And he's trying to make them look like political jobbers.
Now, when you look at it critically, based on how the FCT minister has analyzed their participation in the former elections and also their acceptance or rejection of the governor when he was during the electioneering season. And then all of a sudden they are doing a 360 and pledging allegiance to the same persons that they had very serious reasons not to support during the electioneering season. Wouldn't you say that what the FCT minister, in his opinion, was true?
No. Let me say this.
Is it politics based on ideology, or is it our politicians in Nigeria hypocritical?
We must recognize, listen, the FCT minister right now is a beneficiary of the support of those who didn't support Mr. President. He's also a beneficiary of those who didn't support him. There are people working with the FCT minister today that didn't support Tinubu. I'm telling you. And he has said it. The FCT minister said Rotimi Amechi's faction of the APC didn't support Tinubu. He said it. Now, but there are those who worked with Rotimi Amechi who are now working with the minister. And he embraced them. So would you say those ones do not also have integrity? Because when we're talking about principle should not apply to you in your favor and apply against others to their disadvantage. Principle has a balance. That means what he says to A, he says to B in the same scenario. So the minister is a beneficiary of the support base of those who worked against, by his claims, worked against President Tinubu. And look, as of today, there are those who work for Sim who are against Sim. So what we must recognize is that after the whole political disagreements and the side taking, there is a time for governance. And the time for governance is that you, who was against me, can work for me. And you, who still is against me, can allow me the space to function and deliver my mandates. And that's what's happening here. So if Sim can accommodate those who didn't work for him, I mean, what is politics about? We always say politics is we should embrace the spirit of sportsmanship in politics. So if you didn't support me yesterday and I have won, and you decide to support me for the interest of the state, I should be accommodating. I should welcome you. I should work with you.
They could have easily supported President Bola Tinubu and supported Sim Fubara without taking a swipe. That's the issue, because
I'm trying to explain.
They needed to take a swipe to let the governor know that we are not only supporting you, but we are willing to be your soldiers.
You must recognize that people have reasons why they take a stance. So what is the reason at this time for these people who didn't support?
For elder statesmen.
There are several elder statesmen that have sprung up in River State. There are several statesmen. When this political crisis started in River State, we have had plethoras and different dimensions, different shades, white, black, yellow, green, of elder statesmen. So, and we've seen that these elder statesmen...
In this scenario, when you look at these elder statesmen, they are actually elder statesmen. They are men with pedigree.
But the minister says they are not.
They are men with political history.
And I believe that my brother and friend,
when he said,
Churchill, will disagree.
When he said expired politicians, means that they have a history. Probably in the estimation of the FCT minister, they are no more politically relevant in the state, in his opinion. But they remain elder statesmen because they have strong political leanings, they have strong political background. You can't take it away from them. Now, having seen the level or the status of these men, you would expect that in a state where there is crisis, they would come out, probably, like I said, pledge their allegiance to the different people they want to pledge their allegiance, but for the sake of peace, which they should preach, not bother taking a swipe because of the political tension in the states, knowing that definitely there was going to be a comeback for the sake of peace. And they call themselves elder statesmen. But
but what I'm trying to say is, I know my brother Church is about to say something.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say is that everything is based on perspective. They think that to have peace in River State and to create room for the federal government to have a smooth working relationship with the state, that the minister of SCT is the problem, and that the president, that's the opinion, that the president needs to caution him to subpedal on the pressure he's mounting.
By using the word, by using the statement to be wary of somebody.
I mean,
to be wary.
It's a cautionary note.
That statement.
It's just to be aware.
That extreme. To be wary.
Yes.
To be wary is be careful.
Be careful. Be careful.
This person is dangerous.
Because there's a precedence. There's a precedent that the minister of SCT had been a minister before, and before he became governor, he was as loud as he is now in the government of President Goodluck Jonathan. And by that relationship, he got favored to have access to institutional influence to become the governor of Rivers State. And how did that relationship fare afterwards is what we all know. That there is no longer that cordiality between Nyesom Wike and the former president. And watch.
People are also entitled to.
And watch. The president, the Nyesom Wike's government came into being and was sustained by the support of the orderlies. And this is the statement that the minister himself has made in public. And I watched a clip where the minister said any day he makes the orderlies cry, that he would not see any political growth. These videos are everywhere on social media. But as of today, he's having a rough edge with the orderlies. And all of these politicians who came to speak came from the stem of the political stem of Dr. Peter Odili. And they feel it's their responsibility that, look, the governor is crossing the line. And yet again, that's the minister. The FCT minister is again replaying the script that had happened between himself and President Jonathan. And so, Mr. President, be careful that if he can do this to Jonathan and do this to Dr. Peter Odili, who Mr. President knows how much support they gave to him, then Mr. President, be careful. That's the opinion. This is not more.
Now, when you speak of this, do you know the details of the issue between the FCT minister and the then president? Do you know the details of the issue between the FCT minister and the orderlies?
I don't. But what I'm trying to point out to you,
in the case of Governor Sim Fubara and the FCT minister, the issues are clear. The issues are there.
The issues are not clear.
The issues are clear.
The issues are not clear.
Okay.
And let me say, I said issues because the minister has not said this is what Sim did to me, and Sim has not said this is what the governor did. So all we're hearing is structure, day your day, I day my day.
All right.
So and how is the issue clear? Nobody's talking to us.
All right.
I'll go direct to the point. I understand very well that before this time, Secondus is still on suspension in PDP. So far as PDP is concerned, he's not a member of PDP.
Okay.
Unless he comes back to PDP to say that he wants to join PDP again. But as it stands now, the court confirms his suspension. And that suspension, the process started from his ward. That is for him. I know too well that Abia Sekibo contested with Sim Fubara. The process of the primaries where he wanted to cause problem. He was arrested by the police and he was detained. His mother went to court for trying to disrupt the primaries.
Okay.
When we talk about Abiyesekibo Omeha is somebody that shouldn't stand to be against Wike. I worked with Omeha. Omeha, I would say he was my direct boss. If he will even be watching me now, he will know. Wike gave him everything that he wouldn't have gotten as a former governor. Wike gave him things that, because the court law does not recognize him as a governor, but Wike reinstated him through the House of Assembly and gave him all his entitlements. It's very, very wrong when you come to bite a finger that fits you. Or when you have climbed a ladder and you want to push down the ladder that you used to climb. At a particular time, it will backfire you. These are the people that, in one way or the other, have benefited from Wike. Let me tell you about Secondus. Secondus was not supposed to be a national chairman. Wike fought the fight for him to be a national chairman of PDP. What brought the issue was misappropriation of funds. And the party looked at it. Even his word, he doesn't care about his word. When you're a national chairman, your word should be very, very strong. For your ward chairman to come up to suspend you, that means you are not strong in your word as a national party chairman. That is it. Now, when you come to hear what these persons that didn't in any way support Fubara to come and say they are supporting Fubara, when they were against Fubara becoming the governor of Rivers State, they come now to say they are supporting him. I'm talking in the aspect of Fubara. What they are trying to do is to let Wike know that you have made a mistake for bringing this man to be a governor. That means Fubara was having interaction with them before this time. Fubara in himself, in his own senses, as somebody that has worked with Wike, should know that this person is not planning good for this state. We're talking about stakeholders or state statesmen. They are not when we are talking about the politics of Rivers State, because they don't have any good intention so far as Rivers State is concerned.
Why do you say that?
Now, we're talking about how the electionaries went through. None of them. Secondus was not part of the team that campaigned for Fubara.
Okay.
Abiyesekibo did not in any way participate, even in the election. They were completely 100% against Fubara. But today, like I said here before, and I will still say it again, that Fubara is not a politician and does not have a template so far as Rivers State is concerned. He doesn't have any blueprint. He didn't campaign, he didn't tell Rivers people that this is what I will do for Rivers people.
This is where I have a problem.
And
you understand? And now, when we are talking about the person that did something that brought in Fubara is the former governor. He did projects that attracted the interest of Rivers people for them to vote in Fubara, believing that Fubara will start where he stopped. But as it stands now in the state, because Fubara has engaged people that are enemies of the state into his government, that is the reason why the whole system is being crashed. There is nothing like governance in the state.
You feel
now,
Fubara is
for them to
working.
even go to the extent of pledging their support for the president, a man they said so many things against, even today, in their mind, they are still, what they are trying to do is to steal from Rivers State and also look for a way for them to get something from the federal.
So you feel their politics is that of stomach infrastructure?
Infrastructure.
That's what they
I will tell you the truth, 100%. That is what it is. So they should leave the federal minister for him to do the things he's doing. Because like what my friend Dumezon has said, what the federal minister is doing now is governance. Look at the works he's doing in FCT. Look at the number of schools he is trying to put in place. Look at the number of routes. Look at the kind of projects he's putting in place in FCT. That is the same thing he was doing here in Rivers State. That person that has the country and the state in mind, that wants to build the country and the state, they should allow him do his work. What they are trying to do is to bring distraction, but I know the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Ahmed Tinubu, is a man that is a no-nonsense man. He believes in putting the country the way it's supposed to be. I know what he has been facing. The problem the country is facing now is the problem that the past has kept for the country, but nobody will understand it. Like I analyzed it last time, telling them that, see, what he is facing now is the repair.
All right.
You understand? So what he is telling you is that these persons they are expired. They should forget about them.
Expired in what sense?
They are expired in the participation in active politics. What they are doing is stomach infrastructure. In active politics, these persons are expired. They should think about how to, if they are looking for contracts,
let me ask you
they should go direct and tell the River State governor that we want contract from you. Okay. Not trying to play politics that they don't know. The politics is going the upper level. It's like a ladder. As you are climbing, you must climb the ladder when you are young. If you can't tell an 85 years man to come and climb a ladder that has more than 20 steps, you want to kill him.
All right. Well. So now you're saying that based on their age.
Not even their age. These persons does not have active politics to play any longer. See, these persons have gotten everything they want in politics. I told somebody, I said, if you want to give somebody position, give somebody that has an ambition position. You understand? You cannot give somebody that wants to retire a position. You understand? Politically. And you believe that person will do well. Look at what my friend and brother, Honorable Kelechi Wogu, is doing. You understand? As a House of Rep member. He's doing it because he wants to go back again. But those ones that wants to feed their stomach, that wants to get every damn thing and take their children abroad, what are they doing? They are only collecting their salary and putting it in their pocket.
Okay, do myself quickly.
Well, you know, I would always speak objectively. And that's because I'm introduced here as a public affairs analyst. And I'm neither here nor there, but I always speak and x-ray the issues the way they are. I do not think that people expire in politics. From observation, what makes one, you know, active in the field of politics is the position you're holding and how that translates into a financial muscle. I'll give you an instance. If the FCT minister, as of today, was not made a minister, someone else would have been saying he has expired. Because he would not have, people respond to your office and the money that is attached to your office. These persons that you say may have expired, they have followership. All they need is probably money in their hands.
Now that you have said, yes. Now you just
to grease.
Now that you have said,
the minister yesterday said, you have to grease your machinery.
Now that you have said what they need is money in their hands. So is it not the same language but framed in a different way? Because he's saying they are playing politics of
stomach infrastructure. What they need is money.
Now, that's what I'm saying. That the FCT minister, if he didn't get this ministerial position as of today, he would have also been like these same people. So what so my point is that
you cannot
discard in politics.
You cannot actually assume, because what you said right now about the FCT minister is based on pure assumption.
No. I am telling. See, I'll give you an instance. I'll give you an instance.
You can't assume.
Can I give you an instance?
That is what.
Can I give you an instance?
Give me an instance.
The FCT minister said, look, that he cannot lose his base, and that if he loses his base, he will be politically irrelevant. The synonymous word to being politically irrelevant is being expired. That's what it means. And now, listen. If
not losing, his
political base.
Hold on. His argument is entirely different from what you're saying.
No, it's not different. We're talking about expired politicians. Who is an expired politician? An expired politician is one who does not have the capacity to get results, either from your unit, your ward, your LG.
I am trying to still bring a point. Now you said these men still have capacity.
They have.
Now
they have followership.
Hold on. You said they have capacity.
Yes.
Right. They have followership. Now the only thing that they need is money to grease.
It's just money to fund their activity.
Now, the FCT minister's point is entirely different from that.
What's his point?
His point was not a function of needing money.
What's his point?
To be an aspiring politician or not. What he was saying was structure. You are saying these people have structure, but they don't have money. So now, it still boils down to what Honorable Churchill said, that they are playing politics. These elder statesmen are playing politics of someone's infrastructure. Now, you're saying that if the FCT minister was not an FCT minister, probably
he wouldn't have the level of followership he has. I'm telling you, now, that's a fact.
The thing is,
and he knows, and he has said it.
The thing is, for these people, according to you, is game of stomach infrastructure.
That's what he is saying.
You also said that.
No,
you said they have. You said they have the food.
These people are not hungry. Listen, can I clear a point? These people are not hungry. They can feed themselves. Like he said. But they don't they need.
Okay, they've
like he said.
What are they looking for again?
They need money to.
Yes, they need. Listen, mobilization of people. Calling people from your ward to your unit to your ward to your LJ and several LJs needs money.
Now, that money.
Excuse me, ma.
Does that mean what they now played because they need money to grease and iron the wheels of their own structure? Would you say they have played a politics of betrayal because probably they want to go to where they feel the tap rushes?
It's not politics of betrayal. Can I tell you something? My brother said that these people are established. That means they are not hungry. They will have food to feed. They can take care of their families. They have investment. But what I have for my family is not what I'll have for 10,000 supporters. For me to sustain my 10,000 supporters, aside my family, I would need a source different from what sustains my family, basically. Now, if I now go after the source, would you now say I'm going for stomach infrastructure? No, because it's not for my stomach. I have what it takes to feed. If I have a car and I don't have fuel inside the car, does not mean I don't have a car. But if you want me to come and meet you, you give me fuel to put in the car to meet you. Now, what I'm saying is that Sim, as governor of Rivers State, needs support. And for these people to have their support base queue behind Governor Sim, it would not be wrong if he empowers them. That's not to say they are hungry. And I am saying that the FCT minister could be as Abie Sekibo and the likes. He will have money to feed his family. But he cannot sustain his support base if he does not have this FCT minister.
Let me.
So my point in conclusion is, don't say any politician has expired.
Now, if I may ask you,
because everyone has a vote. If we're doing a democracy, they all have their vote, and their vote counts. So nobody is expired.
If I may ask you again, Dumezo, according to everything you have analyzed, everything you've analyzed, you now mentioned you analyzed it beautifully.
Objectively, I'm a public affairs analyst.
So, you also said, according to your analysis, that these men would need resources,
definitely,
to oil their structure and maintain their foot soldiers.
The minister even said it yesterday.
And to maintain their foot soldiers. Now, that is why I am asking you yet again. Wouldn't you say this is a clear case of betrayal? Because it's a function of the grass is greener on this end. So I will move from this end to where my grass will be watered and I will receive better sun.
I'll give you an instance. Senator Abie Sekibo worked against President Tinubu. He supported Atiku. But as of today, Senator Abie Sekibo is seen with the Minister of FCT. They've reconciled. So are we saying that Senator Abie Sekibo is a betrayer to the advantage of the minister? That's why I said this thing is neither here nor there.
Now,
the principle should not apply here for and apply here against.
Abie Sekibo is part of the elder statesmen.
No, what I'm saying is what I'm saying. What are we bringing? No,
Abie Sekibo that you're talking about is part of the.
No, I'm talking about Senator Abie Sekibo.
Yes,
he's the person we're talking about.
He is part of the elders. He together with Omeya and Sekibo.
No, he was not in that press conference. Listen, there's Dr. Abie Sekibo, and there is Senator Thompson George Sekibo. Now, Senator Thompson George Sekibo was part of these people who supported Atiku. And as of today, he's with the Minister of FCT. So if you now call these people betrayers, what are you calling Senator Thompson Sekibo? If you are now calling these people betrayer, what are you calling Chief Victor Giadom, whom we knew was working with Amechi, whom the FCT minister said they worked against President Tinubu? Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, look, after politics is governance. This is time for governance. And time for governance. What's going on is politics. Times for governance. What do we call governance? Governance is supporting the people in power to deliver on their mandates. Right. And this elder statement feel this is the time to support Sim to deliver on his mandate. They have also said, look, we are supporting the president to have a good synergy with the governor of Rivers State, so that what is due Nigeria and Rivers State we can get. But they are saying that the possible problem in between this consideration can be the Minister of FCT. So the Minister of FCT. I am a political lab scientist. I am excelling and diagnosing the political situation.
Now we are.
You understand what I'm saying?
It still boils down to what I asked you. Now, these elder statesmen, like I said, you said they are supporting good governance. They are supporting governance right now by aligning.
That's their opinion.
By aligning, by paying allegiance to President Bola Tinubu, whom they worked against during electioneering season,
and the Sim they worked against.
And also pledging allegiance to Sim, whom they worked against. Now, doing that to further the governance in the states, probably it's not an issue. You've analyzed that.
It's not.
Now, it becomes an issue.
Well, my friend Churchill must acknowledge that it's not an issue.
Don't you think it becomes an issue when in pledging allegiance, you shoot a bazooka as someone else?
You are the one calling it bazooka.
Okay.
What I am saying is, if I want to eat a plate of food, and the spoon is dirty, it is my duty to say, ma, please, for me to be able to eat this food you gave me, this spoon needs to be washed.
In your opinion, the spoon is dirty. You know, the woman that served you knows that she washed the spoon. When
but I'm insisting. I'm the one to eat the food. So I'm the customer. So I'm saying, please wash the spoon again. Wash it again.
Your opinion could be subjective.
And the customer is always right.
Now,
so the woman has to wash the spoon.
Your opinion, one, could be subjective. And could be come from a place of witch hunts, don't you think? Honorable Churchill.
Let me come in conclusion with what he has said. I know too well that the FCT minister, the former governor of Rivers State, like I said before this time, had good intentions for this state. That is the reason why he did not, on his own, make only himself, take care of his family. He made so many boys. He has made so many people, not only boys. He has made both men and women.
That's why he was elected.
And he is the only person that I've said and seen.
That's why he was elected.
He is the only governor that when he finished his tenure, he did not want to go. He did not put by any other form. He said, my deputy will go for the Senate in our own constituency. For my constituency, another person should come and go.
He bought presidential
He bought presidential form. That is the only form he bought. But for some
that's
persons,
the reason the Constitution allows.
For some persons, they want to, on their own, buy presidential form and buy that of senatorial form.
It wouldn't be possible.
But I know too well that the FCT minister is a man that has made so many persons. He has the structure. The problem they have, they are having in this state is that the structure that is existing, the only existing structure, is owned by the FCT minister. And that structure, both in PDP and any other party, he is in charge. Okay. So any person that is saying that he wants to play politics, should either go and queue up to play politics, or should go back to their house.
So if these people that we are saying expired,
they are expired.
If they are killed behind the minister of FCT, if they are killed behind the FCT minister, they wouldn't have expired.
All right. So, and they don't have structure.
All right, gentlemen. Moving on to the next story. 8 former local government chairmen in Edo State on Monday returned to the All Progressive Congress after moving to the People's Democratic Party with Governor Godwin Obaseki in 2020. The returnees, John Akibe, former Exaco Central Local Government Chairman, Dr. Josie Ogedebe Igueben, Frank Elaboya, Owan West, Andrew Osigwe, Owan East. Napoleon Abama Ohumwode, Scott Ogbemudia, Ovia Northeast, Austin Okoibole, Esan Northeast, and Mrs. Osaho, Esan West, pledged their support for the party and to work for its victory in the September 21, 2024 election. They were received on Monday night at the Benin residence of the leader of the party, Senator Adams Oshomole, in the company of the APC governorship candidate, Monday Okpeblo, and his running mate, Dennis Edahosa, and the acting state chairman of the party, Jared Tenebe. Now, Mr. Dumezo, you understand the Edo politics and what is playing out right now. What do you think this defection means for PDP, and what it also means for APC in Edo State?
Well, I think people in politics...
In the upcoming elections.
Yes, people move based on interest. You know, they always say politics is a game of interest. And when people are not accommodated to their satisfaction in a particular political group, they tend to look at where they can be accommodated better. And they now see that, look, there's an APC federal government in Nigeria, and they know how much relationship Adams Oshomole has with the president and, of course, with the hierarchies of the party. And knowing how elections go in this country, you know, they believe that the All Progressives Congress is better positioned to win the governorship of Edo State. And so it is worth their political investment to join the All Progressives Congress. And in the coming days, you're going to see realignment and alignment. And this is solely, you know, in satisfaction of that hope that, look, the All Progressives Congress would win, and then I could maybe go back to the local government or get some kind of political appointment, you know, not for stomach infrastructure anyways, you know, but to be able to become politically relevant in the state. And I think that's what is happening in Edo State. I am not seeing the much, you know, smart political move being made by the governor himself. And I believe that he's been so egocentric. He's been so egocentric, and that is making him lose the support of people even at the grassroots. And mind you, and when the last time I was here, I talked about the smart moves that could be made by the Labour Party, by the All Progressives Congress, and PDP as well. You know, you see that the APC brought in an aggrieved candidate who would have gone to courts and reduced the chances of the All Progressives Congress. So he's now the deputy governorship candidate, he's the running mate of the flag bearer. That's a smart political move. They're putting themselves together. But in the PDP, you see that the deputy governor, Shuaibu, is still having a running battle with the governor. And he's bent on going to court to challenge, you know, the validity of the flag bearer of the PDP. And that can be an impediment. It can be a clog in the wheel. Because no matter how much progress they make, if the court now says this is not right, it will affect them even if they become victorious. So what people watch out for is, based on precedents, a stable political platform. For now, the APC is on a trajectory, wise trajectory, trying to stabilize the polity, their party. People would see the potency of APC, and they will move and leave the governor to APC because they want to be relevant in the next political season. But the governor is still egocentric. I expected him to call Shuaibu and say, oh, my brother, okay, this thing has happened like this. Okay, support the candidates. When the government comes into power, I'll give you this, I'll give you this, I'll give you this. That's negotiation. It happens in politics. But if he chose to still act in this way he's going,
and move on with the impeachment,
he will lose. He will lose. He can't produce a successor. He cannot, because he took alignment and support of the likes of Wike for him to even come for second term. And he cannot say he has a grip of Edo State. So, you know, and he does not have the local government structure running in full capacity. So, if he does not take caution right now and readjust his steps, he's going to have a crashing loss. You know, lose the structure, lose everything, and they will come after him after he leaves office.
Okay. Now, Honorable Churchill, you're a PDP member.
Yes, I'm a PDP member.
Which of the PDPs?
I'm a PDP member. So far as I'm concerned, I am a People's Democratic Party.
I'm trying to poke my friend. Because, because I know their party in the River State is in a split.
No.
So I am
PDP.
Are you for day or you're for Yendeba?
When you are talking about PDP is one party.
Anyways, you're a PDP
Like
member.
I tell people that the governor of River State is a member of my party until he does otherwise. So the FCT minister is the leader of the party. so far as the state is concerned, because it has a structure.
Yeah, we are talking.
But when we are talking about Edo State, before this time I told you clearly that since the president has said that they are going to stand behind their candidates, like the wall of Gibraltar, that the election is gone. And as it stands, what you are seeing is just Genesis. We are seeing now that is happening in Edo State.
There's still going to be mass defection.
It's just Genesis, because everybody is still thinking about the wall of Gibraltar. And it's not just said by any man, it's said by the president. So it's a good thing that they started early. The local government, yes, the local government
started early.
Because they will join
You're
the
talking
campaign
about
team.
your party.
They will join the campaign team for APC. What I'm telling you is the truth. Like, even if for Rivers State it will not happen, because we know the person who did the structure is a strong man.
Okay.
So when we are talking about Edo State, Edo is APC as it stands now. With what is happening, Labour Party has joined APC. Today, local government chairman, sitting local government chairman, about 8 of them has joined APC. That is to let you know that Edo election for 2024 is concluded. And that is not only because these persons are joining, but because the presidency is behind them, standing like the wall of Gibraltar. And again, the issue in PDP that has not been, if they knew earlier, like I said earlier, before the wall of Gibraltar came, I said that Edo will be for PDP, believing that the sitting governor, Governor Obaseki, will stand beside the party, stand by the party and conduct the election, knowing that the money will be used, that state money will be used for the election. But since the crisis started and the National Working Committee did not arrest the crisis earlier, they allowed the deputy governor to go to court. If possible, what they would have done that time is to play, if it's in Rivers State, I know what the former governor would have done. They would have played the smart politics by suspending him through his word, and he will become irrelevant and retired, and will go ahead with the politics. Because him now has broke the leg of the leg of the chair of the party. That is, Edo State is now having, PDP is now having K-leg. That is the truth. So them defecting now to APC is not a bad thing. Any person can defect. After all, in Rivers State here, the House of Assembly members, about 24 of them defected to APC. We are not worried about that, but PDP still stands as the party in charge of the state. So if tomorrow they decide to come back again, they defected. If they decide to come back, the party will also accept them. But as it stands now, they are APC members. Right. And as it stands in this country, for Edo State election, we should forget about it. Everything coming from Edo now will move bit by bit till the election. And after the election, you also come here to say it that APC has won Edo State because the wall of Gibraltar is by their...
Now, is it a function of, because you appear to be deflecting and pushing the whole thing to the statement by the president. Now, even, yes, in the political history of Nigeria,
yes,
we've had a ruling party, the president, and we've also had people from other political parties in states still win. We've had people win incumbent governors.
Okay, let me
get both with federal might and their power.
Okay, let me remind you something that happened in Edo State.
When you're now saying wall of Gibraltar, you also did not mention that the genesis of this defection
is because of the crisis.
The crisis in PDP. If PDP were as united as, because when APC was having crisis, parallel candidacy, PDP had parallel candidacy, They were having their own crisis. Labour Party also had parallel candidacy. They were having their own crisis as well. And the obedience in Labour Party have pledged their support to APC. Right. Now, when that support was pledged, people have not started defecting from PDP. But PDP still went on with the impeachment process. The Obaseki still went on with the impeachment process, the Edo State House of Assembly of Shuaibu. Shuaibu is in court. The back and forth caused a lot of distraction. So is it, the president came out to make a statement.
Okay.
As a party man, that I'm standing by my party, of course. Is that not a natural statement to make? But then, the PDP, having heard the statement of the governor, should have brought their arms together, galvanize themselves.
Now, like what I said here before this time.
So isn't this a case of APC
I'm not
cashing in on the unfortunate crisis in PDP that PDP has failed to work on?
Like, I'm not a member of the National Working Committee.
And
I said it here that the first time that this crisis that after the primaries, immediately after the primaries, I said the primaries has to be reconducted. You remember? I said it has to be reconducted. And after the conduct, it was after the APC primaries. And APC went ahead and reconducted their primaries and announced the original winner. And the crisis, they arrested it immediately, knowing that the crisis might cause strong coerce for them in the party. And that of the PDP, immediately after the primaries, the governor believed that he is in charge. Like what you said, he said egocentric is a very, very big problem when it comes to leadership. Now, the governor did not in his own way call the deputy for a personal meeting, a private meeting, to make sure that this issue should be handled between both of them. Knowing that if you didn't go for governorship now, does not mean you cannot be a governor again. You understand? Let's work together and make this man a governor. And whatsoever thing that is entitlement will be given to you, so far as the party is concerned, so far as the state is concerned. But they allow the crisis to divide them. And adding to what the president also has said, let me tell you what happened in Edo State when Adams Oshomile was a governor. Goodluck Jonathan was a governor, a president. Goodluck Jonathan came as a president in PDP, and with the presidential might, we took over Edo State. And Adams Oshomile has not been happy since then. And I believe that the same thing is going to repeat now. Adding that, the president has said that they are going to stand behind their candidates like the wall of Gibraltar. And I understand that the wall of Gibraltar is a fight of beat by, as you are moving, we are moving with you. Anything you will do, we'll do with you.
All right.
So, for me, since the crisis in PDP has not been handled till this particular moment, this particular time, I don't believe the remedy can be, because only these eight local government chairman, they are going to
8 grassroots.
They are going to tap more, because I did not hear the name of my friend there, and that my friend, maybe because of the relationship he has with the governor, but that my friend will move soon too. He's a pharmacist, and if he hears me, he will know that yes, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
Because everybody is looking for how to help his own political life.
All right.
You can't be where there is problem, and you think who you know will not succeed. Like me now in Rivers State now, I cannot join ACC as a party. I can't join ACN. I can't join APC. I can only be in PDP.
All right.
Because I know that is only where we can win the election in Rivers State.
All right.
Unless the governor, former governor Yesowike, joins APC now.
Then you will join.
We will know that we are joining APC together.
All right. Mr. Dinezo.
Well, I think we'll test what my friend is saying during the local government election. I think from there we'll know what will happen ahead of 2027.
All right.
And we'll also test that if this assembly survives the court processes. If they don't, then we'll see. All of these things will reveal, who actually has advantage over that. But I wanted to say that the wall of Gibraltar as mentioned by my friend, quoting Mr. President, is not cast in stone. And my history, if my history serves me right, I may have to remind us that there is just Abia State close to us here, which is ruled by Labour Party. APC had a candidate in that election, and the war of Gibraltar did not work. We have Kano State, where we have the highest vote in this country, and the outgone governor is a bosom friend of Mr. President. And the war of Gibraltar
did not
apply. Should I continue to mention? Listen, we have Bayelsa State, whose election was just concluded. And we had a candidate of the All Progressives Congress. Are we saying Mr. President didn't support his party? Are we saying that the war of Gibraltar principle did not apply? But yet, the governor of Bayelsa State, one, gets second term. What I want to say is this, please. Of Gibraltar or not, president or not, APC or not, ruling party or not, we must recognize that we are in a democracy. And the votes and decision to win is in the thumbprint of the people. And that everybody must satisfy the yearnings of the people to get that advantage. This sovereign declaration, individualistic sovereign declaration, does not have any assurance. And that's why I've cited instances where the war of Gibraltar was active, but the Gibraltar was stumbled. So we must have to focus on the people. And that's why I have said that the political put their house together. The people who are the electorates must have an assurance that this is a stable platform. And that will form the basis for them to support after they have heard your manifesto. So my brother is relying so much on this war of Gibraltar. And I want to say, let's focus on the people, please.
Right. We'll have a short break. Do not go away. We'll be back in a moment.
All Nigerians need
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 50,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 50,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which are you.
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring honest pop news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said that is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we
Thank you for staying with us. The leaders of the All Progressive Congress in Ondo State, under the auspices of Aborigine, have endorsed Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa as their preferred aspirant in the April 20 governorship primary election in the state. 11 aspirants have obtained their nomination forms ahead of the party's primary election. Addressing newsmen in Akure, their leader, Ambassador Sola Iji, said that all the aspirants were screened by Honorable Mrs. Christy Olufowoshe. Iji said that Governor Aiyedatiwa scored 777 points, Wale Akinteriwa scored 587 points, while the late Dr. Paul Akintelure scored 612 points. Let me start with you, Mr. Samson Dumezo. Do you think that, well, the people that endorsed Governor Aiyedatiwa appears to be a faction of people under a certain auspice, not the entirety of APC leaders in Ondo State? Now, just yesterday, it was in the news that Ondo State came out to say that they will produce, the APC in Ondo State said they will produce the most popular candidate. Now, when you look at that statement appears to be pregnant. You know, it appears to be pregnant with meaning. And then you look at the controversial nature with which Aiyedatiwa, emerged as the governor, and subsequently how he has been doing and the crisis that has followed in the state. Do you think there is a possibility of Aiyedatiwa actually clinching the governorship seats in Ondo State?
Well, there are several variables to emerging as the flag bearer of a party. Sometimes in what we have seen in recent history, it may not even be as a result of your popularity in the state, because the party can choose a medium to which will favor the person they have at heart. For instance, the All Progressives Congress have the option of taking direct or indirect primaries, all right, to conduct their primary election. Direct primaries means that every card-carrying member of the party across the entire units and wards in the state would have to vote for who becomes the flag bearer. Indirect primaries means you're going to have a delegate would vote. And at the end of the day, the popular choice becomes the choice of the party. So what defines popularity would be more with direct primaries and indirect primaries. Because in direct primaries, you're taking the census of or cumulative vote of opinions across the entire unit and ward. But when it comes to indirect primaries, you're taking the decision is taken by a few persons delegated with that power to take a decision. As of today, if you say let's vote between National Assembly and Nigerians for President Tinubu, do you know that the National Assembly would vote for President Tinubu? Because they are a few and they can be lobbied. But when it comes to the whole country, that may be the case or may not be the case here. So I would want to advise that for the All Progressives Congress to win in Ondo State, capitalizing on the legacies of the late governor, what would have to happen is that they must have to conduct direct primaries. Because what becomes the result in direct primaries is a pointer to the main election. Because when people love you and they come out to vote for you genuinely, they will convince their household to support you. But when a candidate is superimposed on them, you're going to lose their support. So one way to test what will happen in the election is to have the party allow for direct primaries. Then people, members of the party, card-carrying members, will now determine whom they want to become the flag bearer. Right. Now, whether it becomes the governor or some other candidates, what should interest the All Progressives Congress is that we have done a clean process that is acceptable, widely accepted, and would not bring chaos to us. Now, if they do that, they'll have advantage over others. Now, the current governor, from my periscope, yes, from my periscope, I am saying that the current governor is not being politically smart. He feels that being in charge of the treasury, he can use money to get what he wants. But that may not always be the case. What I expect him to do is to reconcile with the loyalists of the late governor. Because in Ondo State, they are having that trouble. The group that were loyal to the late governor and his own group. He needs to bring everybody on board. I mean, what will it cost you to bring everybody on board? You're the governor of the state. You have the resources. You can channel it to where and when. So get everybody on board, unite the party, and get the support of the party. That's a smart thing to do. But as of now, if he's doing this factional thing and segregating, then he's going to lose the support, because even if the party gives him the tickets, these other persons, if they find, they might work against him. You know, and he needs to understand that. And what he needs to do at this point, and some of these advices we just offer for free. He should consult, you know. But the smart thing to do is to reconcile first. Put your house together, reconcile with everybody, and then of course, another thing to do is to begin to come up with interim measures that will alleviate the current suffering of people of Ondo State. Okay. You know, palliatives would be important to people. The scarcity of food and money, you know, give people food, give people money, as well as engage in capital projects. And then, of course, he would have his way.
Right. Over to you, Honorable Church.
The issue concerning the endorsement, that's where I will digress a little. You know, when it comes to party endorsements, any person can come up to endorse any candidate. But the final point of the election is when the result is being announced. And I know too well that a primary election like this, that is an open primary, because this one nobody would say that he is the person projecting this person. Like what happened in some states where they will say this person is loyal to this person, and that is why this person should be the governor. This one now, when you look at the death of the former governor, you will find out that, just like what Dumizo has said, there has been an issue on this one, and it's really affecting the whole system in Ondo State. And the current governor will likely lose the primaries if he doesn't take time. But when they're talking about endorsement, it doesn't work until results have been announced in the primaries. No matter who enters, come to the primary and change minds. Because every party has its own constitution. And the party constitution determines the process in which the election will be conducted. I have not seen a party constitution that says that election of primary should be done directly. It's an act that was initiated last time, but it didn't work. But every party is indirect. And when it comes to indirect, I choose whom I will vote. You choose whom we will vote. So, person might come up and say that, yes, that my group has endorsed so person just to get something from that person. Or even likely to get information from that person. Because when I come to tell you that I've endorsed you, give me some certain information which you believe that is for your own consumption. You would relate it to me, and it might be used against you. So what I'm saying is that at this juncture now, the candidates that are ready for the primaries, because we're in April. We're in April already. Today is 3rd April. So likely 17 days from now, the primaries will be conducted. They should go and start working towards the primaries. Every candidate has right now to work. And for the governor, there is no time again, because when you see people that are not important to you, that you don't need them. And at this time, when the primaries is very close, don't talk to them that you need them. They will see that you want to come and buy them, and after that, any candidate should go for their consultations, their ward to LG consultations, and ensure that they are on ground.
All right.
Because the more you work, the more you be assured. You can't stay in your house and you have primary by 28th and you are sleeping very well and you think you win. No, it's not like that. It doesn't work. Every politician that is contesting an election, at least 20 or 30 days, 2 months to the for the rest hours.
All right.
So they should go ahead and consult the people, make their preparations. Because any person can come up to win. But I believe that what the leaders have said, that they are going to, propose or bring to their people the best candidate, the most popular candidate. They have somebody that they know that will do better in their heart.
That's the reason why they made that statement.
So they can't make a statement and they will bring somebody that is unpopular, who does not know the looks and crannies of the state. And contesting election as a governor is different from contesting election as a House of Rep member. It's different from contesting election as even a senator. But a senator is even more popular. A senator that is doing well will even be more popular than somebody that has not contested election before, that has not been in the picture. So I wish them well, but I advise them for them to go and do their homework.
All right. Former Governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, has asked his successor, Hyacinth Alia, to prove his claims about the finances of the state, including incomes, the wage bill, and debts. Otom, who was reacting to Alia's recent interview, accused the governor of embarking on embellishments and shocking fabrications. A statement issued by Teva Akase, Otom's media aide, said, "We expected the governor to demand evidence from the Debt Management Office to prove that Benue is indeed one of the states which have incurred debts from June 2023. Now, Honorable Churchill, Recently, the Debt Management Office has come out to say that 13 state governments have borrowed money to the tune of over 200 billion naira within a space of 9 months. And now this issue is coming up in Benue State. Autumn is Governor Alia, on the other hand, is accusing Autumn of misappropriation and all of that. Autumn is also saying, Alia is also saying, I did not borrow money. There are a lot of, conundrum. It's a conundrum in Benue State right now. But I want to know what you think about Autumn daring Governor Alia to prove allegations of financial misappropriation on his part.
Autumn, in his own way, I will not say he did very, very well, but Autumn tried
in Benue State.
Benue State in one way or the other. Despite that, he did, was that wheelbarrow empowerment? Which I really spoke against. I stood against it because a governor cannot come and be doing those kind of minor empowerment. But when they are talking about the fund is there, I mean the records are there, and he is daring Governor Alia to prove that he is the one that borrowed this money, or he is the one that used this money that led the state to borrow it. What he is trying to do is to make himself be free from the eyes of the people, to exonerate himself. So if you think you are the one saying the truth, you make the documents clear. The documents are there. You cannot, document does not rot. Even if it's rot, we have systems now, soft copies in systems. You cannot tell me that they are as poor, the state is as poor, that they don't have
proper documentation.
I mean, or maybe what happened to Ministry of our Financial Ministry happened to them. There was one time they bumped our Ministry of Finance, telling us that our documents has gotten bumped. I mean, Federal Ministry of Finance. So you cannot tell me that kind of thing has happened in Ondo State, in Benue State, I mean to say. So what we are saying is that the documents should make everything clear, so people will know who is lying and who is saying the truth. Just like what is happening in my state. If there is any person that wants to prove that what Wike has done is embezzlement or this one before he left office, the documents will prove it. Now, if Alia is saying that, Autumn, you embezzle the funds of the state, he should make the documents very clear, so everybody will know, because we don't know who is saying the truth as it stands now.
All right.
We don't know who is saying the truth. So the document will be what will prove to the people that this person is saying the truth or this person is the one lying.
All right. Mr. Dumezo, what do you think about this whole debacle?
Well, I'm a bit worried in the sense that at this point in Nigeria where we have food scarcity, we are intending to diversify to agriculture. A state like Benue State that is called the food basket of the nation, with a high potential for agriculture, is rather talking about embezzlement and no embezzlement. I am worried that, Benue State is supposed to be feeding the country at least, because they have that potential. And instead of hearing that there are agricultural companies running down to Benue and farms, mechanized industrial farms are springing up, Benue State is able to intervene with the food shortages from our warehouses. We're hearing of embezzlement. embezzlement, which is almost becoming a sing-song after every administration leaves the office. And the governor of Benue State, I am not seeing, I don't know if it's the media that is underreporting. I haven't been to Benue, but I am not seeing reports of strategic investment, strides of governance in Benue State. All I have heard since this governor came in is stones thrown at each other. Is either today is the secretary to the government of the federation, who is the former governor of that state, Senator George Akume, that is at variance with the governor, or is the immediate past governor at variance,
state party chairman.
or the state party chairman, or the House of Reps members. There was a time House of Reps members in Benue State took to a press conference against the governor, accusing him of nepotism, accusing, yes. So, for us, many of us will think or believe that once you say you're a minister of the gospel, you're a pastor, you're a reverend father, there should be moderation, there should be a difference between you and someone who just gets into power. We expect that you have the fear of God and things will be done accordingly. But in Benue, it appears that the reverse is the case. I am not seeing what the governor is doing. It's just political battles and tantrums here and there. And before you know, next month you're going to be counting 1 year in office. And there's nothing much to show for it. And that leads me to the point where I believe that we are on a borrowed time as police with our style of politics. We're on a borrowed time. We've been on this lane for too long, where we are becoming extremists to the inadequacies of our candidates. I expect that the political parties will begin to speak. If you're not doing well as a governor, with the privilege of having the platform of the party should come out to say, look, Mr. Governor, you're not doing well. You have the mandate of the people, and you're sharing on our platform. And if you do not perform, it's to the disadvantage of the political party. But it's because we do not see the longevity of institutions in this country. We see it as just a mere vehicle. We see political parties as a mere vehicle to just contest election and win. When you're done with it, drop it. And that's the problem with our country. Meanwhile, the manifesto of every election is drawn from not just the candidate, but the party. It has to be in sync with the manifesto of the party. At the end of the day, we feel it's just to contest. When you win, you damn everything and damn everyone. So, if there are evidences to some kind of misappropriation, rather than talk about it, we should see the documents. The government should set a panel of inquiry and invite the former governor and let him come and answer for his 8 years of being a governor of Benue State. Rather than come out to say, it serves the public no good to come out to say, look, there's embezzlement, this one stole this one, and you're not showing us evidence. What we want to see is evidence. It's not enough to come and tell us this person stole money or did this. Let your accusations be accompanied with valid documents so that when people see, they can tell for themselves. Now, the former governor say, provide documents. Nothing is being provided. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to bring us into the usual circle of accusation. Before you know now, you say, oh, I can't perform because of the former administration put us into borrowing. We're trying to clear the debts.
Yeah, we are coming into, that's our next story right now in Kaduna State. Actually, where former Kaduna Central Senator Shehu Sani has asked the state government to go after former Governor Nasser El-Rufai over the state's huge debt profile. Sani made this call in a post via his verified X handle on Monday. The former lawmaker urged Governor Obasani to constitute an independent to investigate the immediate past administration over the huge debt it left behind. Recall that Governor Obasani inherited a debt burden of $587 million, 885 billion naira, and 115 contractual liabilities from the El-Rufai administration. He said the huge debt profile has made it difficult for him to pay workers' salaries. However, Sani stressed that the current Kaduna State government can remedy the situation alone. Sani stated, "The looting of Kaduna State cannot be remedied by revelations alone, but by courageously constituting a probe panel headed by an independent professional accountant or auditor who invite and investigate ex-government officials and their proxy contractors to account for the millions in dollars and billions in misuse outrightly stolen, including the $350 million loan. Kaduna State is at its hour of reckoning with the truth I foretold and the truth for which I said." Now, let me start with you, because that was your last trajectory before I had to read the story. Now, that was exactly what you were talking about when you were talking about Governor Alia, who at the end of the day might deflect and hide under the accusation he made over the former governor, Otom, and probably from there say, "I'm unable to do this project, I'm unable to embark in this human capital development because of the huge debt and misappropriation of funds." Now, this is playing out in Kaduna State. What do you have to say about that?
First, I'm shocked by the revelation and the question to ask, because I know that Shehu Sani has been in long time political enmity with El-Rufai when he was governor. And of course, Shehu Sani thinks that El-Rufai sees himself to be too intelligent, and I believe that also affected him in the politics of Kaduna, because a lot of the elites felt he was arrogant, some kind of megalomania, and Shehu Sani didn't like it. He was constantly speaking against it, and it made him lose his seat in the Senate. And Shehu Sani would of course want to be governor, but we must understand that Shehu Sani has been an advocate in the public space, advocating for good governance, and he has charged the governor that, look, beyond all of this, let's get a professional audit company to look at the records, and then let the records be made public. But the question we should be asking is, who brought Uba Sani as the governor of Kaduna State? He became governor by the support of El-Rufai. Yes, he became governor by the support of El-Rufai, because El-Rufai is his predecessor and it's the same party, the same APC. It's not like this is a PDP governor, all right? It's the same, political party. So the question would be, how did he emerge? Does he have the political will, to probe El-Rufai? And then again, we rationally would ask, what's the essence of coming to tell us that there are these deficits and these debts?
He said he's unable to pay salaries as a result.
Another question is, where was Uba Sani? Was he not part of the government? That's another question to ask.
At the National Assembly.
Were you not part of the government? Were you not? You were at the various commissionings that Kaduna State government did. Were you not there? Did you not at the time?
He's also been accused of being instrumental to helping El-Rufai get these loans when he was at National Assembly. So he was aware of the liabilities and the assets he was going to inherit from El-Rufai.
So now that you're in the saddle, you're probably now more aware than you were the gravity of this debt. Are you willing to probe the former governor? You should be willing. If you're not willing, then why come to tell us you can pay salary? Because you're in government to solve problems.
Probably the weight of governance right now is crunching on him, and the possibility of owing salaries. The reality is staring him in the face, and there is need to explain to the workers what happened and why probably he will be unable to pay salaries. But I don't know.
I think we see
leadership trumps excuse.
We must understand that, look, leadership is not a tea party. So when you're coming on board, okay, you made promises to the people, and you told them you would do this, you would do. regardless of what the situation is. You did, when you were making the promise, you didn't tell them, look, oh, I cannot do this if we are owing, no. I cannot do this if we don't have money. You said, look, I will pay salaries. I will do this project. That is to say that whether or not there's resources, you have the prowess to generate resources. So the governor should not give us this circle of excuses. What we should be seeing him do is to take the bold step to probe that administration and see if you can recover some of the loot.
Right.
Yes, if you can recover some of that, that's fine. If you cannot, my brother, find a solution. That's why you're the governor. Or is he not receiving salary as governor?
Increase back allocation.
Is he not receiving security votes? You are receiving allocation. There's IGR in Kaduna is one of the business states in this commercialized state. So are you not receiving IGR? Are you not receiving allocation? Are you not receiving your salary as governor? Are you not receiving security votes? Have you not bought executive cars for your administration? I mean, let's leave all of these excuses.
All right. Let me hear from you. What do you think about this?
I used to let people know that governance, just like administration, is not something anybody comes up a day like this and say you want to enter administration. Administration is something that you have to learn. It's a process. And there are things when you enter it, you should know how to tackle. I want to use I remember when Governor Wike entered office. I know why I always reference him. Because he's a man that has shown magic. When he entered office, he called other statesmen, called for a meeting, including his House of Assembly member. He told them, a few days when he enters office, that was like 10 days, he told them the money I saw in our account is less than 2 billion naira. But we have to, since there is loot in the government house, we have to arrange it. That is, renovate our government house and other things. And he did all those things. Remember, the vehicle, the transition vehicle he used was the one he hired from Bayelsa State. Then he has to look for a way to borrow. But I know too well that the same man that borrowed that time worked everything out. With that less than 2 billion naira, he handed over a huge amount of money to the current governor. And he did so many projects that marveled Rivers people because he understood administration. Administration is not a process where you come in, you want to start without being educated. That is the reason why when you enter government, you go for seminar. If you enter any seat, even when we are councillor, we go for seminar to acquire more knowledge in what you want to do, how to do it, and the result you will get when you do it better. Coming to talk about external body to come to start investigating the state fund, he will pay them. It's from the state fund you pay them. And I know too well that he has received allocation for more than 10 months now. He has received allocation because when I say for more than 10 months, or for 10 months now, he has received allocation. And somebody that has received allocation for 10 months, you've not noticed all these things in the first month. You've not noticed it in the second month. You are coming after 10 months. When you know too well that the economy in this country does not demand for any person to even owe any person salary. Even person that is working, doing the least work. If you owe the person, you should be pleading on the person. In my office, if when I cannot pay salaries, I call them and I plead. Because it's not really easy. For somebody to be working for you, the person is taking care of himself or herself. And that person is believing that that salary will be the means that he or she will use to take care of himself. And you're telling me you can't pay salary. That means you are planning suicide for these persons. That is one. Now, when you are talking about probe, you are also talking about, you did not talk about, just like what Dumezo said, you did not talk about your security vote. The money that the state is owing, the debt, does not really concern you in the aspect of your security vote. It doesn't concern you your own salary. It doesn't concern you your allowances. What is concerning you is the people. What you are talking about is the people's salary, not your own. So in this aspect now, I would say to them, to himself, somebody that ran election for you, did he do that election free? It's from that money. You should be looking for a way to handle the lapses, even if there is any lapses, to handle it, and look for a way to make sure that you handle the affairs of the state. Because we're talking about IGR. There is no state that has come out to tell us the IGR is 1 million, the IGR is 2 billion. No state has come to say. We only say that Lagos State IGR is higher to those states, maybe before you get to River State. But we have not known the IGR, the amount they get, and they don't disclose it. I bet you there is no government in Nigeria, there is no state government in Nigeria that cannot handle the payment of salary with the IGR if they are serious about it. Only the IGR. We're not talking about the allocation. So that is the reason why when our former Governor Amechi, Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi, entered office, he told Rivers people that government of Rivers State is elephant meat and that he needs to be saving money for Rivers people. I know too well that finally he squandered the money, maybe because of one or two things. You understand? But he saved more than 20-something billion for Rivers people in our saving.
All right.
So what I'm saying is that Governor Obasin, what do they call him, should go and handle the issue of the state and stop talking about probe at this early stage.
All right.
Because the person that brought him to seat is Erufai. Erufai, they handle the electoral system.
So because Erufai brought him to seat...
No, when I'm talking about bringing him to seat, is that he handled the electoral system, he made him the governor, and today he's talking about bringing the state back. Because when you start talking about the probe now, talking about how to get all this one, you are bringing the state back.
All right.
So we should talk about the forward.
Okay.
Even if he's handling these affairs, it shouldn't affect the salaries of the people.
Okay. Former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, Yekini Nabena, on Tuesday said, despite talks of a merger and plots by opposition parties to use the economic hardship to discredit the current administration, President Bola Tinubu will complete his 2 terms of 8 years in office. His statement comes on the heels of talks of a merger and mega party among the opposition parties to dislodge Tinubu in 2027. The APC chieftain also declared that no political coup in the National Assembly will remove the incumbent president of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, following the controversy that trailed the 3-month suspension of the senator representing Bauchi Central over allegations of 3.7 trillion naira padding of the 2024 budget. In a statement issued in Abuja on Tuesday, Nabena emphasized that Nigeria's unity must not be compromised. What do you think, Dumezo Samson?
Well, I think everybody should understand that we're in a democracy, and people have, just the way we have liberty of worship, people have liberty of what political party to join, and of course, every opposition party wants to be the ruling party. So if they put their hearts together, they are going to be always throwing tantrums, seeing that you lose popularity, seeing that you're confused. They even go to church and pray and fast. You know, political parties, opposition will pray and fast that you are confused so that they can take advantage of it. It's normal, you know, for people to do it. But I don't believe in absolutism, you know, speaking definitely when you do not have control over things. There's a difference between prognosis, when you're trying to foretell of what will happen, and when you speak as though, life is in your palms. We can't say that Tinubu cannot be stopped. If the opposition puts themselves together and they begin to, Jonathan was the president of this country. As a sitting president, he was removed in office. Yes, we must recall that. People may want to say Jonathan was not smart. Well, who is the smartest in all things? So it's just a matter of people coming together and putting themselves together, organizing themselves. The problem we've had is that after the merger between some political parties that formed the All Progressives Congress, we've not had that kind of merger again. We've not had that kind of merger again. That merger was strong enough to take out the sitting government, which was a PDP government. So if we have Labour Party today, we have PDP today, we have NNPP today, and other parties come together, there are aggrieved persons in the All Progressives Congress, certainly. If everybody comes together, you must recognize that the other blocks that formed the APC as of today are not so happy. That's the CPC block, the AMPP block, the NPDP. The Amechi is part of the NPDP block. The likes of the CPC and the AMPP that formed these people only had a taste of benefit when President Buhari was in power. And towards the end, they almost lost it. All right? So Amechi was favored the way Minister Wike is favored today because he led the NPDP into that merger. So if there is a merger today, if PDP puts their house together, the Labour Party puts themselves together, the fragmentation in the All Progressives Congress from the CPC bloc and the rest, if they put themselves together, you will discover that, look, they will form a strong opposition. And they will drive their message the way the APC drove its message and took PDP out of power. So what we should be doing as a people is to continue to charge the government to fulfill its mandate to the people, make life easier and simple for people, and the people will be on the side of the APC. But to just sit down and say, look, nobody can be stopped. You're not God. You're right. So I think this is the level of sycophancy we see in politics that should not be. People should be able to be realistic and speak by principle, not some kind of emotionalism, trying to curry favor and be seen to be a supporter.
All right.
That's the way it should be.
Honorable Churchy, what do you think?
You see, just like what Dumiso has said, the last time we experienced merging was when Goodluck Jonathan was a president contesting for second term. And the parties that merged, the CPC and other parties that merged, formed the APC. It was a very strong force. And they won that election. So we should not be praying. Okay, for me, I'm not aware that my party will not merge with any party. PDP is a party because we are the largest in West Africa. In Africa, not even, I don't want to say one part of Africa. In Africa, PDP is the largest party.
How? Where
no,
did you get that information?
It's just that when we bring wrong candidates, at times we fail. It's not that we don't win.
That doesn't make PDP the largest party in Africa.
It's largest. So let's talk about, when we're talking about the merging, if they merge to form a mega party and PDP did not join them, they will not win. That means unless PDP joins, but I don't believe PDP will join. But if PDP joins, it's a problem.
Now you're speaking
as a party member.
As a PDP
as
man.
a PDP member.
Yeah, right.
So now, but nobody should come and say, there is no politician that will come and tell you that everything he wants to come, like this chieftain has said this thing. Like this, say it to gain favor from Tinubu. He has said it to gain favor from Tinubu, or he's already gaining favor from Tinubu. So everybody is looking for where the rain will fall. But my brother, the only thing that can make, if they emerge, that they will not win, is when things start getting well and better in Nigeria. Everybody is entitled to his or her own opinion. You can come and say, I can even come and tell you that Tinubu, because he has the Minister of FCT working with him, that he is going to remain there till after 2027, he will finish his 2 tenures. Yes, I can say it because he's working with FCT Minister. But my brother, as it stands now in this country, everybody, including me, will believe in better Nigeria. If dollar now comes down, food, we'll have food, the cost of things reduces, and everybody is living well, happy. Tinubu, go back for your second tenure. I'll be the one to even campaign. But as it stands now that everybody is hungry, nobody should be telling me about second tenure. Let's finish this first tenure first. Because even me, I am hungry. And everybody is hungry. So we should be talking about the end of first tenure. You understand? Because the end justifies the means. So him that is saying it now, he's saying it for him to gain something.
Because he's hungry. So.
Because he's hungry. So we should think about how to better our country. Me, I want to wake up one day, they tell me that dollar is now 420 naira. I will be happy. Now I can start changing my money to look for a way to travel. But as it stands now, if you want to buy flight ticket, you know how much it is. Everything is high. So we should talk about this tenure, the conclusion of this tenure. Because by 2026 January, we should look at the achievements of this government, what they have achieved. Now we are looking at them, watching them as they are moving. By 2026 January, if dollar is not 400 naira, and if other things has not started working the way it's supposed to, we'll start having doubt. But me, I believe that yes, that President Bola Tinubu is doing everything possible for Nigeria to get a good air. You understand? That is what I believe.
And so far, by what he has done, you think he can be re-elected in 2027?
I said by January 2026, we will analyze and get the result of what has been done by this administration.
You're speaking as a politician.
And then we'll try to think of what will happen when the election will come. But now, the whole Nigeria is looking at what happens when it comes to the end of this tenure, including the state governance. You understand? Including all the states. Whatsoever thing they are doing will end as 2026 January. We'll know whether they have done well or not. If they are thinking of 2026 May, it's foul. We are thinking of January. By December 2025, if we cannot buy rice comfortably, they shouldn't be telling us second tenure. Because the only time we hear like this, we see like this 4+4 is when you have done well, including House of Assembly members. If you have not done well, by the end of 2026 is a problem.
Irrespective of the party.
I don't want to know. What I want to know.
Now you are speaking as a PDP member. I'm asking you once again, irrespective of whether it's PDP.
If Nyesom Wike will contest for president.
But
right. He will not.
Right. This is where we wrap it up on this episode of Open Conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Sampson, for coming.
Always a privilege.
It's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Honorable Churchill Wale. Yeah, regular. It's a pleasure, sir.
The war of Gibraltar.
I'm always afraid of that war of Gibraltar.
All right. You can follow us and stay connected on all our socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic Television Network 1. Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Do not forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Ogu Laurentia Choma. Transition News comes up next. Do not go away.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank.